What's going on, guys? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Niners News here on 49ers Hive. My name is Zach Hernandez, and as always, I am joined with my co-host, Matt Llewellyn. And today we're going to be talking about Matt Stafford being a Los Angeles Ram. Matt, all of the rumors over the weekend was that it was a done deal with the 49ers. He was going to be in red and gold very soon. Now he's in blue and yellow. How does this affect the Niners moving forward? Is it a huge change for the team?
Yeah, it immediately puts their quarterback situation as the worst in the division. And people, notwithstanding with what they reported or whatever, I'm sure that the 49ers definitely had interest. And I just think that the Rams came in with an offer that nobody was going to refuse for a 33-year-old quarterback with a litany of injuries. So, yes, Stafford does go to the Lions, from the Lions to the Rams. Goff goes back in return, and then it's 2 future firsts and a third, I believe, is the compensation. That's a lot for Matthew Stafford. So good for the Rams. They're definitely taking a bold approach to team building. They're kind of shortchanging their future by going all in the present. That hasn't always panned out, but I guess if you get a Super Bowl out of it, it would be worth it. To me, I'm okay with the 49ers not paying that price. And, the big narrative is going to be that the 49ers haven't done enough. It's still early in the process. I think that if Stafford had gone to any other team other than an NFC West team, they wouldn't have the same concerns that they do with Stafford being on the Rams. And they would have been more open to the idea that 2 future firsts is too much for Stafford. It's just that it hurts to see him come to a place where we have to play him twice a year on top of Russell Wilson, on top of Kyler Murray, looking at Jimmy Garoppolo, who can't stay healthy. That's really what this boils down to.
And I think also, the fact that a lot of people were envisioning him coming here. That, it's almost twice, it stings twice as much because not only is he not coming here, he's going to your rival. Obviously, he's not Seattle, but still the Rams play the Niners, at least they have played the Niners pretty tough last few years. So it's going to be interesting to see how it shapes out. The Rams, I think, get better, a lot better. Go ahead.
Yeah. I feel like I think it's I could be mistaken, and I'm sure my wife will kill me if I get this wrong, but it's kind of like that movie Love Actually.
Go on.
where Alan Rickman's character or whatever buys the jewelry, right? Mm-hmm. And the wife sees it and thinks it's for her, but he actually bought it for his secretary.
Yeah.
So it's she gets the CD and it's trash, and she's like, "What?" It's kind of like that. You build up your expectations to, I'm going to get Matthew Stafford. I'm going to get Matthew Stafford. And then it turns out that, nope, it's Jimmy G. Nope, you got a floral decoration. That's all you got. It's one of those things where, the fan base got their expectations, and this is partly due to reporting, which I talked about on the live stream. And, there were expectations built up that didn't pan out, and that's okay. That happens. But it becomes a bitter pill to swallow when you see a rival get what was supposed to be coming to you. And that's really where we're at. It's unfortunate. I would have liked to see him go to somebody else, but that didn't happen. So,
yeah. And, the 49ers now don't have Robert Saleh. He's now obviously the head coach of the New York Jets, and they are going to deal with face Matt Stafford twice a year, paired with Sean McVay. It could be a pretty formidable duo there that they have to face now in the division. But he's no Deshaun Watson. That's all I'll say. He is still somebody that the 49ers can have success against, but he does improve the team, I would say, a good amount, because Jared Goff always seemed to end up biting them in the butt somehow. That was always the reason why they couldn't progress past to the next level, even in this year's playoffs. It was John Wolford and Jared Goff. And speaking of that, I said in the group chat, as soon as we heard Sean McVay say it's going to be between John Wolford, Jared Goff, open competition, that should have said all you needed to know about how they felt about Jared Goff moving forward, and should have made you really take the smoke, trade rumors, whatever you want to call it, surrounding Matt Stafford seriously. The Rams are not afraid to give up whatever it takes to get whoever they want. They've shown that previously, Jalen Ramsey, and a few other players, if I remember correctly. So I think those have been the 2 main splash moves, but still they're not as conservative as some other teams. So
yeah, I didn't realize it was as bad as it was with Jared Goff. In the playoffs, he came back. They started Wolford, and Goff was the emergency guy. He was 11 days removed from a thumb surgery when he broke his thumb. There was no indication that even before he broke the thumb, they were thinking about a switch. But it turns out reports are that surgery didn't hamper him as much, and it was just McVay being kind of fed up with Goff. And this just turns into, between Stafford and Goff, the Rams are paying more than $40 million for a quarterback. The dead cap on Goff is $22 million going back the other way. So on top of Stafford's salary, they must have really been unhappy. And, things happened really fast. They moved on really quickly. Poor Goff, his smoke show girlfriend's probably going to leave him now because Detroit is a sucky city. But hopefully from, the football perspective, he gets it back on track. No, it's unfortunate that didn't work out. The Rams spent their 2017 pick on that. They traded up to get that pick, remember, under Jeff Fisher. So we're looking at a Rams team that's not going to have a first round pick till 2024. They felt that strongly about Jared Goff to just, again, mortgage further into their future to win now. I mean, that must have been a terrible situation. I've heard rumors that Jared Goff felt like he was railroaded by the team and that he wasn't appreciated. So it's going to be a fresh start for him. And shout outs to Dan Sileo, who a lot of people made fun of for talking about this stuff, but was actually willing to adjust. I mean, he said that the 49ers were in on it. And then when he heard Rams, he was the first person to kind of jump back and say, you know what? No, I'm hearing that Matthew Stafford thinks that the Rams are a contender and there's something that he would go to. And he turned out to be right. So shout outs to him. I didn't expect this move just because of Goff. I thought Goff's contract was unmovable. That was proven wrong. I mean, and to think in a down year with COVID, talking about how much you're going to lose on the cap, depending on where they set it at, on top of $40 million in dead cap space for, you're paying for two quarterbacks essentially because he didn't like the one. That's out there. They must have really been unhappy with Goff to be able to do that. So it's really interesting to see.
It is. And not only that, but that's also why they had to give up so much to get Matt Stafford, because they paid a premium for them to kind of take on Jared Goff's contract and their future first round picks. They're not, right now and next year's their future picks because they didn't have any current first round picks because of Jalen Ramsey. So the Rams paid an even higher price because they didn't have anything in the bank right now. It's like they're paying the extra overdraft fees for their check bouncing, So it's interesting, but the Rams, like I said, kudos to them. They were willing to make the move, pull the trigger when other teams weren't. I don't think the price would have been as high had the 49ers actually really been interested in considering it, just because they have tangible picks right now as opposed to future within the next few years. And they have, players that aren't signed to as crazy contracts as Jared Goff is. And he put out a statement. We went over this in the live show as well on Sunday night, that, he's happy to be in a place that appreciates him and that wants him. So I think I'm reading into this a little bit, and I'm thinking it was definitely pretty bad in LA, and maybe he felt disrespected or slighted or whatever the case may be. I hope he balls out in Detroit.
It makes you wonder if that trash meme about Jared Goff saying he would pipe Sean McVay's wife is like a real thing, right? Like that thing has fallen apart. That's one of the fastest fall aparts of a quarterback and coach combo that I can think of.
Mm-hmm.
It just immediately went sideways.
Yeah.
And it's one of the few ones where you got a quarterback with a huge contract that's able to get moved. We were talking about it just a couple weeks ago with Doug Peterson and Carson Wentz, and the Philadelphia Eagles were like, well, see you, Doug.
Yep.
You're more movable than Carson is. So we got to get, we got to let you go. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's tough to think about in terms of, Goff was something that we penciled on the schedule was like, that's not too bad.
No.
And now it goes to Matthew Stafford, and you're like, oh, that's kind of worse. So from a 49ers perspective, it definitely hurts. It's just one of those things where it's like, I can't believe that happened so fast.
It's true. Yeah. And you were talking about it yourself, saying that, the season's not even over. The league year hasn't started. No way anything happens. It ended up happening. So kudos to the Rams. Like I've been saying, they got it done. Now it remains to be seen if it's going to work out for them. Maybe it doesn't work out somehow. Something happens, whatever. But the 49ers are definitely going to have to take this game, the two games against the Rams this year, a lot more seriously because it's a much tougher opponent with Stafford back there than Goff. But I think that's going to do it. If you guys like the channel, you want to support, do us a solid, hit that subscribe button below. Hit the like button as well. Drop a comment. What do you think of the Rams acquiring Matt Stafford? Did they get fleeced? Did they pay too much? Whatever it is, drop your comments below. Can't wait to read them.
Yeah, go ahead and click the bell for notifications. We're always bringing you videos as much as we possibly can. It's been a rough couple weeks, but we're getting back on track, and we're going to bring it to you all the time now. We love having you with us, and yeah, hit the notification. It does us wonders going forward. So until next time, guys, we thank you, and go Niners.